On Friday, the Trump administration declassified and released the contents of the deceptive Nunes memo. It's the latest distraction concocted by Republicans to protect a president of their party from the conclusions of an independent, a truly independent investigation. Shamefully, it's the latest abuse in a long line of partisan broadsides against the FBI, the nation's premier law enforcement agency. These attacks erode faith in the rule of law. At least the American people can now see the Nunes memo for what it truly is, an impotent document of GOP talking points. Far from being the smoking gun that many Republicans, right-wing media outlets, and Russia-linked bots claimed it would be, the Nunes memo just blows smoke. It's full of misleading conclusions based on innuendo. What it does confirm does not vindicate the president or prove bias at the Department of Justice. It confirms that the Steele dossier was not the catalyst for the Russian investigation, debunking a favorite right-wing talking point. Let that sink in. The FBI was concerned about Trump campaign advisors linked to Putin's spy services before, let me repeat, before the Steele dossier existed. So this idea that the Steele dossier created all this is just plain wrong, and even their own memo admits it. The Nunes memo also confirms that a 3-judge panel on multiple occasions thought it was in the best interests of our national security to monitor a Trump campaign advisor for his troubling links to the Kremlin. Seeing as House Republicans saw it fit to release the contents of their partisan memo, they should certainly support the release of the memo prepared by Ranking Member Schiff. If House Republicans have any semblance to fairness, they'll vote to release the Schiff memo. It's based on the same underlying documents. If it was all right to release the Republican memo based on these documents, it should be all right to release a Democratic memo based on the same documents. Meanwhile, President Trump still refuses to implement the sanctions passed by an overwhelming bipartisan majority in Congress. I have to say, if President Trump and his allies spent half the time standing up to Putin as they do attacking our own FBI, we might actually get somewhere with Putin. But the administration seems to fear doing anything to upset him. The American people ask why. Why is Donald Trump so afraid to upset Mr. Putin? What are they so afraid of? It's inexplicable to me that the President of the United States and his allies are far more concerned with attacking American law enforcement agencies than standing up to Russia. President Putin interfered with our sacred democratic process, the very process we exalt, correctly so, in our schools and teach our children is so wonderful. Putin's trying to make a sham of it. He's trying to interfere in it. And we hardly hear a peep out of President Trump and so many Republicans on this side of the aisle who used to go after Putin, to their credit, regularly. We have an investigation into the matter of Putin's engagement in our elections by one of the most trusted and nonpartisan civil servants in Washington. But because that investigation might include some wrongdoing by the president or his close associates, too many Republicans in Congress, and of course the conservative media, have turned on the FBI rather than on Putin. It is far more than disquieting. It's the worst place that partisan politics can go. The vital interests of our nation are being subverted to the benefit of a foreign hostile power. A congressman says we are witnessing a coup on the House floor. A senator floats the possibility of, quote, secret societies. The Speaker of the House suggests a cleanse of the FBI. For partisan reasons, the President and his allies in Congress are systematically trying to weaken America's faith in the rule of law. And to a large extent, sadly, the leaders of the Republican Party have been silent. A few notable exceptions, including my dear friend Senator John McCain, are speaking out about the real threat here. Not the FBI, not our career law enforcement officials, not Special Counsel Mueller, but President Putin and his war on democratic societies and democracy in general. We desperately need more of our Republican friends to stand up and speak out, particularly the Republican leadership, because their silence is rapidly becoming complicity in the denigration of our republic, something that's happening, unfortunately, before our very eyes.